Today on Pull Start Stables, it's plow day season. And I think I'm gonna get this 520xi ready for the field. In April of this spring, this automatic wheel horse really did shine. The high and low range worked out really well. It has cruise control. We could just throw the thing in low range, full throttle, set the cruise, and plow. It's got a really fast hydro lift. I modified this hitch to work with just a standard cable and some clamps. It goes straight up to the wheel horse rock shaft, and everything's great. Today I'm going to see if I can add a little bit of a traction booster. These wheels here on Putt Putt are Duro Frontiers. They are 26 by 9s, but they actually measure about 27 by 8.5. When you compare that to a 26-12-12, there's a whole lot more contact patch here, and so there's less PSI. This is like a 11 or 1200 pound machine. The front tires are fluid filled. There's some plastic concrete weights on the back, but otherwise it's pretty much just a stock machine. I think that these tires will definitely shine in the Wisconsin soil. Having the V-bar lugs, but having a little bit of room to clean out as well, seems like I've never spun one of these. Obviously I have 8 horsepower and I have 20 horsepower, but I have a whole lot more weight here than here. So I think I'm going to be all set. This tractor here has lug studs and lug nuts, and this one just has lug bolts. So I've got a handful of sockets. I don't remember what's over here. I think that one's going to be a 5/8. It's time to get this thing up in the air, pop some other tires on it for the time being, and swap them over. I didn't know how this would work out, but I'm able to just reach right through the center hole of these wheel weights and get to my lug nuts. That's pretty sweet. I don't know how it's going to work putting the lug bolts back on. There's one way to find out. I wasn't sure how that'd work out. Apparently it didn't. Now for comparison, these are D-Stone 23 1050s. They actually measure about 23 850. And it's quite a bit of clearance. Those ones actually touch the fender just barely. They kiss it. But it'll be good to have this tall tire with a narrow contact patch on that big heavy tractor. These are pretty sweet wheel weights, even though they got the wrong brand on them. They've got this, if I can get to it, quick disconnect. I think I might have to take a little bit of spin off. There we go. Just like that, and we can get them spun off. It'd be interesting to know what the weight of this set versus those Duros comes out at. But like I say, we're talking about PSI here, weight per contact patch. Narrower tire is pretty much always going to win, but if we can get the same height from these 26s, that'd be pretty sweet too. Eventually this 520xi will finish my loader series. I cleaned up shop back in April to get ready for my plow day, and I buried my loader project, and the rest is history. Another cool thing that's going to be pretty awesome plowing with this is the fact that I have a fuel gauge and a monster fuel tank. I'm looking forward to see how many rounds I can take without filling up. I doubt I can make it the whole day, but that'd be pretty cool. Check this out. Those skinny tires are actually even taller, which is going to be even better for ground clearance in the furrow and all that. Hopefully though, it'll still clear my fenders. It is unreal how much weight is pulling out. I would imagine that weights on the outside of a tractor tire could probably lighten the load in a sense on the axle. Now there's always a little bit of a cool factor when it comes to a pull start tractor, and honestly I don't know if this cuts it as far as looks go, but when you're out in the field, cool doesn't really matter. We're looking for effectivity. Now before I just slap this one on and finish up this part of my project, I should probably know which one of these is heavier. Now I don't have any scales here today, so we're going to measure with butt dynos, and we're going to measure in the scale of ugga-duggas. As a baseline, we're going to give that 13 ugga-duggas. I thought I heard some fluid, but I was wrong. You know, those might have about 14 ugga-duggas. These are my 13. These are stackable weights. They're also slimmer. And like I said, we're still all about the contact patch, that PSI number. So I'm still going to stick with these. I think traction is going to win here. Well, now that I've made my tire selection for this Wheelhorse 520xi, I'm going to just go through, check fluids, make sure that everything's topped off, ready to rip. I'm really looking forward to seeing how well this hydro holds up to a whole day's worth of plowing. I know that it survived here. It had a couple different people on it, and I didn't really get to feel a whole lot of it. And I guess, quite frankly, if it's not me running my machine, I don't know if anybody's run it that hard. I'm willing to put it through its paces. I'm ready to see if I can find a limit. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to. This thing's a pretty good rock star. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're thinking of an XI series, they are awesome. I did make one video on the front axle pivot pin. It's a pretty poor design. It lacks with some lubrication features, and it pretty much rides on a 5/8 bolt on that front plate, and that ain't cool. So I modified this one, heavy duty, greasable, big 7/8 inch pin instead of a 5/8 bolt. Otherwise, I've never found a thing wrong with these things. Until next time, we'll see you later. Remember, always keep your engine full of oil and your plow nice and clean.